Hello there, Chef Wainaina here. Welcome to my channel. Today we are cooking a very hearty beef stew. Welcome, let's start cooking. So to start our beef stew, I have here in this small container, I have half a teaspoon of thyme and rosemary, and I have 2 bay leaves. All these are dried. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. I really like cumin just for flavor. 1 garlic. I'm gonna take a few cloves out of that one. I have ginger. I have 3 red potatoes right here. I have 2 carrots, 1 green pepper, 1 red pepper, 1 onion. I have frozen peas back here, Worcestershire sauce, red pepper flakes. I have some beef beef broth right there, some vegetable oil. I'm using canola. We also have kosher salt, black pepper ground. I have a can of tomato paste and a can of tomatoes. My goal here is to inspire the cook in us, just to be better cooks, to share the ideas out there, get new dishes that we can cook. Dishes like this one pot dishes that are so useful for families, the dishes that you can make, put in the fridge, or you can just freeze and be able to dig in. The key thing to being a better cook is planning ahead, just knowing exactly what you are going to need for what you are cooking for the night and having them ready. Let's do the prep now. I'm going to cut this into what is called a roll cut. You can definitely cut these carrots into any desired shape that you like. You can cube them, you can cut them into half moons, anything that works for you. There's no particular way for cutting them. I just like this style of cutting them for my recipe, but you can do anything you want. This again, you don't have to worry. You can cut them into just big dice. Or mince. I'll mix the ginger with the garlic. It's about a teaspoon of ginger. I like ginger. I like the slight kick it adds to the dish. I opened my can of tomatoes and tomato paste, so those are ready to go. I took out my piece of beef from the fridge. This is a piece of a rump roast which I got from my local supermarket. This is a piece that is very suitable for stews. It cooks on low and slow very perfectly because the cut has a lot of muscles, has a lot of connective tissues that really benefit on slow and long cooking, which helps it, develop the flavors, and it becomes very succulent and tasty. When roasted low and slow, this cut gives you a perfect roast for your dinners, and you can also use it for your cold cuts. We are going to dice this. I'm only going to use a half of it. The rest of it, actually, I'm going to put it in a bag and freeze it for next time, because I certainly don't need all of this. Cut it this way, or you can cut it whichever way. So what I'm going to do here is just take this. I want this, by the time they are done, they are a bite size, so I'm going to cut them that size because they will definitely shrink when they cook. So but I don't want it to be way too. Sometimes you have these connective tissues, they are chewy, but definitely again, because this is a stew, the long cooking helps with the breaking down of the muscles. So that's why these kind of cuts, they are so suitable for long cooking. If you don't want to trim the fat, definitely there's absolutely nothing wrong with the fat. You can cook with it. It's just that sometimes when you're making a stew, it's gonna have way too much fat in it. But if it's something that you really enjoy and you like, well, go for it. So our beef is right there. It's all set. So next thing I'm going to do now is to move on to the stove. Still on the cutting board, I'm going to season this beef with salt and pepper. I like kosher salt. It's always easy to control when you're cooking. Black pepper, I buy whole peppercorns, and then I grind them just to what I need. So that's all set. I'm actually not even going to move these from the cutting board. I'll just heat the pan and get them from there. So the beef that was left, this beef right here, if you can see it. So I'm going to put them in this ziploc bag. I'll press out all the air, and then this one goes into the freezer. This one actually freezes very well. So the only thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that all the air in this bag is pressed out. So that helps with the protecting it from a freezer burn. So you get at least minimal freezer burn. So this one freezes very well. If you put meat or any kind of meat in this kind of bags, you press out most of the air in it. It freezes very well with minimal freezer burn. Otherwise, the best alternative for this for saving is for using a vacuum sealer if you have it. That's a very effective way of preserving stuff in the freezer and avoiding the freezer burn. I took out a heavy bottomed pan, which is perfect for searing because it handles heat very well. I added canola and heated it up until it's almost smoking. I then carefully started layering the beef at the bottom of the pan, which by now is very hot. This will sear the beef for about 5 minutes or so on one side. The searing helps the beef when it's seared on all sides. It helps the beef to seal in all the juices, so the flavors in the beef itself gets locked in. So and also it develops the flavor. The brownings at the bottom of the pan, that is always what you're looking for as a cook. So as you can see, this one is taking color on the other side. So I'm going to flip these. Flip each one of them. I know cooking is a labor of love. So give it some love. If you show it some love, it's gonna reward you at the end. So, So our beef, as you can see, is nicely browned. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this into a pan here. I will lower the heat a little bit. This is gold at the bottom of the pan. I don't want to lose it at all. I'll sweat these onions just for about 30 seconds or so. I'm not looking for color at all, just to sweat them a little bit. I'll add a teaspoon or more of our ginger and garlic. There you go. Yeah, that's looking beautiful. I'm going to add a teaspoon or so of tomato paste. I'll switch to my spatula. So when you add tomato paste at this point, it deepens the flavor. So you toast it a little bit. It deepens the flavor of the dish. So since we want to be careful here not to burn stuff, I'm going to drizzle in just like a teaspoon of a balsamic. This adds some acidity to the dish. I'm going to put to return our beef into the pan. Turn the heat up on high, and right there you see our dish is already starting to get those beautiful colors. I'm going to add some tomatoes. I opened a can of tomatoes. I'm going to use half the can. The rest of the tomatoes, they are going to go into a ziploc bag. That's always my style. And they will end up in the freezer again until next time I need them. So I usually buy small cans for the tomatoes. If I don't need the whole can, I always freeze them, and they are still very usable the next time that I need to use them for cooking anything I need. So this is good. So the next thing I'm going to add now, I have some bone broth. This is store-bought, so I'm going to add this. So this is beef broth. So that is adding flavor on top of flavor. I will do some Worcestershire sauce. I love this stuff. This adds a lot of savoriness. It gives the dish a lot of body to the flavor. So that goes in there too. So what I'm going to do at this point, I'll add some water. This will eventually evaporate. So all I need right now, I want to bring this to a boil. I want to bring it to a rapid boil. I'm going to cover it and cook it for about half an hour. I'll add my thyme and rosemary, my cumin. I put the lid back on so that we can have the beef at least to cook halfway before we add the veggies. So it's been about half an hour or so. So we are going to open our lid, very careful, a lot of steam coming out. Take out the lid. So our beef definitely seems to be softening. Yep, it's softening. So what we are going to do now, add our vegetables. First goes our potatoes. When you're cooking and layering all the flavors step by step, it really shows off during the final dish. You know, it takes time, but if you give the dish the patience, it's really going to reward you at the table. So this, turn up the heat, bring it back to a boil. Put it on high so it just goes back straight on. So we just added a bunch of stuff in there. So every time you add, you introduce something into a dish, an ingredient, you wanna make sure that it's seasoned. So the last thing that we are going to add for this dish that we will do at the last minute will be our peas. So the peas don't take long to cook. I'll just put just like a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Just want a slight kick. You know, I'm not looking for heat here. It's just for flavor. Yeah, it shows off. You know, you're just gonna get a tang at the back of the mouth right there with those chilies. Just not for heat. What I can do here is check for seasoning. How the liquid that you're cooking with tastes, that most of the time will be what your final dish is going to taste. So also be careful. Most of this liquid here, the sauce is going to reduce, so you want to be careful. You want to be careful with the salt. So that's why you want to go step by step, because every time the liquid or the sauce reduces, it gets saltier. So always be careful with that. It's an important point. So the tomato paste, I've given it that brownish reddish color in the tomatoes. It's also going to help with the sauce thickening a little bit, because the way we want our dish today, the vegetables are not going to fall apart. So if the dish, the sauce has to find something to thicken it, and that the tomato paste will do part of that job. What you can do also, if the sauce is too thin towards the end, you can definitely add some thickening agent, cornstarch, potato starch. So after about another half an hour of cooking, and a total of about an hour and 20 minutes or so for the whole process, our dish was ready. All the potatoes are cooked. The flavors are really deepened in this dish, and we can't really wait to dig in, because this is an amazing dish. It should be a dish that you should try in your kitchen. The beef is very, 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 very soft. See? Very softened. It's very good. The potatoes, they've not fallen apart. I really like these one-pot dishes. They are budget friendly, they are easy to make, and you can use whatever you have in your pantry and fridge. They're just so adaptable. Once they are ready, you're done cooking, just put it on the table on the pot, or just ladle it in bowls, and everybody you're serving, they're just going to be pleased. They're just so comforting and delicious. I just couldn't wait. I had to dig in and try these. So just so delicious, very succulent beef, tasty, everything, just so good, just so fitting for this kind of weathers. and especially at these times when we are all locked in indoors. I hope you like this video. Please try this recipe. Leave me a like, a comment down below, and subscribe. Thank you.